Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise and get you straight to the insights that matter.
Yeah. Hello?
And today we're tackling something, well, pretty universal, dealing with debt.
Hmm.
You know that feeling. You're making payments, maybe just the minimums, but those balances, they just don't seem to shrink much.
It's incredibly common. People feel stuck.
Exactly, stuck. So you want a smarter way, a faster way out, right? But there's just so much advice flying around.
Overwhelming, really.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack two really big strategies you hear about all the time. The debt snowball and the debt avalanche.
Right.
We want to lay them out clearly, figure out how they work, and maybe most importantly, help you figure out which one might actually fit you.
And that's key, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
these aren't just, formulas. They tap into different things. One's more about financial logic, pure numbers.
Okay.
The other, it's much more about, human behavior.
Yeah.
How we're wired. Understanding that difference is crucial.
Absolutely. It could be the difference between sticking with it and, well, falling off the wagon.
For sure.
Okay, so before we jump into snowball versus avalanche, let's get one thing straight. There's a ground rule for both, right?
Yes. Absolutely fundamental. No matter which method you pick, you have to make at least the minimum payment on all your debts.
Yeah.
Every single one.
That's the baseline, non-negotiable.
Exactly. Your foundation. The real strategy, the decision point, comes down to what you do with any extra money you can scrape together.
Even if it's just a little bit extra each month.
Precisely. That extra bit is your secret weapon. And that's where these methods diverge. Where do you aim that weapon?
Okay, good setup. So let's aim it first at the debt snowball. This one gets a lot of airtime, often associated with Dave Ramsey. What's the core idea here?
Well, the snowball is kind of counterintuitive financially at first glance. You ignore interest rates completely.
Ignore them, really?
Yeah, you list all your debts, but you order them from the smallest balance owed up to the largest.
Smallest dollar amount first.
Okay, right. Then you keep paying the minimums on everything except that smallest debt. And on that one, you throw every extra penny you have at it.
All guns blazing on the little guy.
Exactly. Until it's gone. Paid off, wiped out.
Okay, feels good already.
And that's the point. But here's the snowball part. Once that smallest debt is zeroed out, you don't just, pocket that money you were paying.
Oh, okay. What happens?
You take the entire amount you were sending to that now dead debt, the minimum, plus all the extra, and you add it to the minimum payment of the next smallest debt on your list.
I see. So the payment amount grows.
It snowballs. Each time you pay off a debt, your payment chunk for the next one gets bigger and bigger, rolling downhill faster and faster.
Okay, I get the name now. But you said ignore interest rates. Why? That seems inefficient.
It often is less efficient, financially speaking. We'll get to that. But the snowball's power isn't math. It's psychology.
Ah, the motivation angle.
Precisely. Think about it. If your smallest debt is, say, a $500 store card, you can probably knock that out relatively quickly.
Yeah, maybe in a few months with some extra effort.
And when you do, boom, that's a win, a quick win. You've eliminated an entire debt, an entire bill. That feels fantastic.
Okay, I can see that. It builds momentum, confidence.
Exactly. It taps into something powerful. Getting those quick victories keeps you motivated for what might be a long journey. It feels less overwhelming when you're ticking things off the list.
So the pros are, it's simple, it's motivating, you see progress fast.
Right. Very clear milestones.
Yeah.
Less chance of getting discouraged early on.
But what's the catch? You mentioned inefficiency.
Well, the catch is the interest. By ignoring the rates, you might have a really high interest debt, say a credit card at 25% APR, sitting further down your list because it has a larger balance.
And you're just paying the minimum on that high interest one while you attack a low interest small loan first.
Exactly. So over the total time you're paying off debt, you will almost certainly pay more in total interest with the snowball method compared to the alternative.
Okay, so it might cost more and potentially even take a little longer overall.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
It's the trade-off. You're essentially paying a bit more for the psychological boost for the motivation engine.
Got it. Okay, so that's the snowball. Motivation first, math second. Let's switch gears. What about the debt avalanche? This sounds more intense.
Maybe more mathematically intense. The avalanche is the flip side. It's all about financial efficiency, pure logic.
Okay, intriguing. So how does this one work? Forget the balance size.
Completely forget the balance size for prioritizing. With the avalanche, you list your debts strictly by their interest rate, their APR. Highest APR at the top, lowest at the bottom.
Highest interest rate gets top priority. Makes sense financially.
Right. You pay minimums on everything, just like before. But all your extra money, it goes straight to attacking that debt with the highest interest rate, regardless of how big or small the balance is.
So you could be tackling a huge loan first if it has the highest rate.
Absolutely. And you hammer away at that one until it's gone. Then you take all the money you were paying on it, the minimum plus the extra, and you apply it to the debt with the next highest interest rate.
So it's the same rollover principle as the snowball, but the order is different.
Exactly the same rollover, different attack order. You work your way down the list from highest APR to lowest APR.
And the big advantage here is
Money. Pure and simple. By tackling the most expensive debt first, the one charging you the most interest, you minimize the total amount of interest you pay over the life of your debts.
so less money wasted on interest charges.
Significantly less, usually. More of your payment goes towards the actual principal balance sooner. This means you almost always get out of debt faster and cheaper using the Avalanche method.
Faster and cheaper. That sounds like a slam dunk. Why wouldn't everyone do this?
Back to psychology. The potential downside of the Avalanche is that it can feel really slow, especially at the start.
How so?
Well, imagine your highest interest debt is also your largest balance, like a big credit card debt, or maybe even a student loan.
Okay.
It could take a long time, maybe many months or even a year or more, just to pay off that first debt.
Right, so you don't get those quick wins like the snowball.
Exactly. No quick hits of debt eliminated. You need patience. You need discipline to stick with it when it feels like you're just pouring money into a giant hole without seeing immediate, tangible, list-shrinking results.
That could definitely be demotivating for some people, staring at the same list of debts for a year.
Yeah, it requires a different mindset. You have to trust the math and know that even if it doesn't feel fast, you are saving money and making the most efficient progress.
Okay, so we've got snowball for motivation, avalanche for math, quick wins versus lowest cost. How does someone listening right now decide which is actually better for them?
That really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And honestly, there's no single right answer. It boils down to self-awareness.
Knowing yourself.
Yes. Are you the kind of person who thrives on seeing quick results? Do you need those little boosts to stay on track with a long-term goal? If yes, the snowball might be your ally, even if it costs a bit more.
Because sticking with a plan is better than abandoning the perfect plan.
Precisely. The best plan is the one you actually follow through on.
Yeah.
If you're more analytical, if the thought of paying extra interest really bothers you, or if you have one debt with a truly awful interest rate that's just draining your finances.
Then the avalanche makes more sense. Attack the biggest financial threat first.
Exactly. If you can stay motivated by knowing you're taking the mathematically optimal path, the avalanche will save you money and likely get you debt-free sooner.
You mentioned numbers earlier. Do we have a sense of how much difference it makes, like in real dollars?
Yeah, the sources often run comparisons. In one typical example, looking at a set of common debts and applying an extra $300 payment each month.
Okay, $300 extra.
The Avalanche method saved the person about $1,341 in total interest compared to the snowball. And they became debt-free 1 month sooner.
Wow, over $1,300 in a month faster. That's not insignificant.
No, it's real money. It clearly shows the financial power of prioritizing high interest rates.
But again, only if you stick with it.
Only if you stick with it. That $1,300 saving is worthless if you get discouraged and give up halfway through paying off that first huge high-interest debt.
Which brings up an interesting idea. Can you mix and match? Or is it strictly one or the other?
Absolutely you can. A hybrid approach is actually quite popular and can be very effective.
How would that work?
Well, you could start with a snowball, use it to knock off maybe one or two of your smallest debts really quickly. Get those psychological wins, build that confidence, feel that momentum.
Okay, get the motivation engine started.
Right. Then, once you've got that boost and maybe built up a bit more discipline, you could switch to the avalanche method for the rest of your debts, focusing on the highest interest rates from then on.
Ah, so you get the best of both worlds. The initial kickstart and then the long-term efficiency.
That's the idea. It acknowledges both the psychological need and the financial reality.
That sounds pretty smart, actually. Leverage the strengths of both. You also touched on credit scores briefly. How do these methods affect that? Is one better than the other?
It's nuanced. Generally, paying down debt is good for your score, obviously. The snowball, by closing small accounts quickly, might slightly impact your credit utilization ratio initially if those were older accounts, but it's usually minor.
Okay.
The avalanche, however, often targets high-interest credit cards first, since they tend to have the highest APRs. Paying down credit card balances significantly can often give your credit score a faster boost because utilization on revolving credit weighs heavily.
So Avalanche might be slightly better for the score, assuming your high APR debts or credit cards.
It can be, but again, the main goal here is debt freedom. The credit score improvement is usually a very welcome side effect of either method done consistently. Don't choose based purely on score impact speculation.
Right. Focus on the debt. So whether it's Snowball, Avalanche, or this clever hybrid approach, the real secret sauce seems to be just picking one and doing it.
Persistence.
Yeah.
Consistency. That's absolutely it. Having a plan, any plan, and sticking to it month after month, that's what gets you across the finish line. That commitment is everything.
Okay, so wrapping this up, we've dug into the debt snowball, great for motivation, quick wins, powered by psychology.
Yep. Keeps you in the game.
And the debt avalanche, the financially optimal path, saves you the most money on interest, gets you there fastest if you stick to it.
Pure math efficiency.
We really hope laying these out helps you think about your own situation, your own personality, what drives you, what will keep you going.
Because knowing that is the first step. And remember, this knowledge is only powerful when you apply it. Make a choice, commit to it. That's the real takeaway.
Our goal here was really just to give you that clear comparison, cut through some confusion so you feel equipped to make that choice.
And hopefully feel more in control.
Absolutely. So here's a final thought to leave you with. As you think about using Snowball or Avalanche for your debts, where else in your finances or even your life could applying a systematic plan, one that maybe prioritizes those quick wins, one that prioritizes pure efficiency, bring you some unexpected benefits, something to chew on?